Well, YouTube, guess what? It's been a year since I've been in California, and actually almost a year since I've recently been back to posting BandLab stuff on Cyan Music. Now, today is going to be a bit different. Thankfully, the summer heat is almost over here in California, but I still keep my head short just because it just feels really good. Now, in November, I will be doing the whole no shave November thing again, but until then, we're just going to have fun. Now, today we're going to pull the accordion out. I had this accordion now for going on 2 years. Then the case is open, pull the accordion up. Because there's so many reed banks, this accordion does feel heavy. Now, with it in the case, it actually feels heavy because the case is heavy, but now that the accordion is out of the case, I can easily just pick this up with one hand now. So that's really good. Alright, today I'm just going to revisit something and demonstrate all of the sounds on my accordion. Now, of course, I do have to put the accordion on. I'm not going to do any bagpipe tunes on this, although I enjoy doing that. I am thinking about doing another accordion song, actually. It will be involving making the accordion sound like the Irish uilleann pipes in a way. Alright, I'm going to switch to... It's been a while since I've done an accordion register switch demonstration. It's been a while since I've actually last pulled out my accordion. Alright, now before I even start playing this, I'm going to do a quick warm-up. I gotta get back to doing my scales on here again. I'm going to use the bassoon for the scale exercise. It doesn't matter what instrument you're playing. If you're playing a piano, you do use both hands. It also applies the same when you're doing an accordion. Don't just practice your right hand scale exercises just because you have a piano keyboard on the right hand. I would practice with your left hand as well, even on the bass buttons. Now, even though the bass buttons are arranged in circle of fifths, that shouldn't keep you from practicing your left hand scale exercises on the accordion. Now, don't practice with the chords, though. If you have to, if you have a free bass, I wouldn't necessarily, it is a free bass switch, but it doesn't apply bass notes to all of the bass buttons. I should be pressing my air release button when I'm trying to push my accordion in instead of just manually pushing it without releasing it. But if I'm holding the accordion still, it's all good. But if I'm moving it, you always want to press your air release button. Alright, now actually what I will do is I will put on, there we go, it's an 8-foot plus 2-foot bass switch, or yeah, 8-foot plus 2-foot bass. So it gets kind of like this sound. Kind of sounds to the organ stop. Wait, that's harmonium. Wait, that's bandonian. This is organ. There it is. I'm actually gonna put on. I think I will actually use it. Hold on. Just kind of keep the tones similar. All right. I'm gonna do a couple scale exercises. Here we go. And yes, since my accordion does have a low F note, I I can do the F sharp down here. Because the normal range for an accordion is from F to A. I'm going to put on the clarinet. This is 8-foot sound. Okay, my 8-foot sound isn't working too well. But yeah, there we go. There we go. I'll put on the two 8-foot sounds, the violin sound. From A3 to F6 is the normal range, but if you trigger the 16-foot sound, you get F2 to A5. The piccolo sound, you get F4 to A7. This is almost the full range of a piano. Now, if you incorporate the free bass sound, you can basically get almost the full range of a piano, actually. So there we go. Now let's go back to bassoon. And let's get that one. There we go. I'll have to come down here to do it, though. Again, I'm doing the F down here because I do have that low note. But personally, for me, I would start, if you personally are starting out on accordion, I would just stick to the higher octaves, but I would actually go ahead and start expanding your range on an accordion. This in particular is the piano. It is technically involves, this actually involves the piano accordion, so a diatonic button accordion is going to be a bit different, but this generally applies to a typical piano style accordion. Alright, let's go through the registers. It's been a while since we've done. I'm actually going to use, there's the air release. So make sure you press that when you're trying to pull the accordion. If you're not pressing the key or using the air release button, you don't actually want to go ahead and push the accordion in. You always want to make sure if you're pushing the accordion in, press the key or push your air release in if you're doing it. All right, right side keyboard. Here we go. I'm going to use, let's see. Here we go, D minor Dorian. That's the bassoon. Clarinet sound. Now, I actually like the way my accordion is laid out because it actually has the single stops right at the top. So your bassoon, clarinet, and piccolo are your first three. Most accordions don't have that. Most of them, they'll start out with bassoon, bandonian, organ, bassoon, bandonian, organ, bassoon, bandonian, organ, and then move to your clarinet sound, then move to your master sound, then your harmonium sound, then your... Some accordions are laid out different, but mine I know is laid out, even though it's got dots on the cymbals right here. It's got the musical staff with the different dots. But I know what mine is. I know how they're supposed to sound because most accordions actually label their sounds instead of just regular cymbals with the musical staff and the dots. This one right here has a symbol with a circle, a dot in the lower. So that indicates that it's a bassoon sound. Clarinet sound. I also forgot to mention that my accordion, when I first got it, I forgot to mention because now I've looked up so many videos on this. This is actually a double tone chamber accordion. Most of the accordions I've had before this one were single tone chamber, which I actually like the sound of single tone chamber because when you play the violin sound, it balances out the reeds, so you actually get a more stronger chorus sound between the reeds. or most accordion players call it tremulating sound. Here's piccolo. I've not had any problems with this accordion over the past 2 years I've owned this. There we go. Piccolo, or bandoneon. There we go. I use my A minor chord with my D minor chord to create kind of a D9 sound, or I should say D minor 9. And then use my D minor for a G, which will give like a G9 sound, because those are actually some of those chords that are part of Dorian mode. All right, let's go for, that's the organ sound. Toccata and fugue on there. All right, here we go. Master. Now I could use the organ and switch to master, or better yet, why don't we come down here and use the palm switch. I actually use that palm switch a lot whenever I'm playing, because I want to go from a subtle sound so that's the master. Okay, that was quite interesting. I went from the organ sound to the harmonium sound, so that was actually pretty cool. I skipped over the master because I just demonstrated it with the palm. It was like I was picking random numbers out of something. It's like an accordion version of spin the wheel and see what it lands on. Because I was demonstrating master. Oh wait, that's still master. Let's see where we end up next. Spin the wheel, find out what stop we land on. And we have the oboe sound. The cool thing about an accordion is even if you play the piano, you can actually play the accordion. You can actually reach an 11th on an accordion. So that's kind of cool. You can actually play. If you have experience in piano now, an accordion does not have full-size piano keys like a piano does. So you can't really reach. On a piano, you can barely reach. Successfully, you can reach about an 11th. Actually, comfortably, you can actually reach a 10th. And that's a major 10th. You can reach a major 10th and a major 11th, even the flat 10th. Generally, you're not supposed to put your thumb on a black note, but when you're playing octaves and reaching over, you do have to kind of do that. And now let's go to harmonium. Next is violin, which is the two 8-foot reeds that has kind of a Celeste kind of sound. Now I actually do like playing there are a few notes that I actually like playing because it actually does make you really think more of an accordion. And one of those, even though the clarinet's in the double chamber, this key still courses. This key courses quite a bit. Of course, one of the valves is kind of sticks a little bit because this is kind of an older model, but you do get kind of the chorusing on the B flat, D flat, not much, or C sharp. Definitely the D note, but even on the pull out, you can kind of get a chorus. But this is why I also like single tone chamber accordions. This accordion is mostly dry tuned, so you can't really hear much of a chorus effect. This E note, kind of get a chorus, but when you get to this F note, that's F4 by the way, counting octaves. Definitely hear a lot of chorus. And there we go. Here's the accordion sound. And that's the two 8-foot reeds plus that. And I personally don't know this last one right here. It is an 8-foot. It is the two 8-foots plus the 4-foot. But there it is. All right, for the bass sound, I'm going to go ahead and switch back to this violin sound. For the bass sound, we're going to play spin the wheel and see what switch we press. Generally, I don't want to move the accordion quite around like that when you're doing this. We'll just reach our right hand over and flip the switches. Okay, I think I just did melodic minor right there. All right, now we're going to play it again. I'm not going to touch the switch, I'm just going to land on one. Switched keys there. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and put the accordion back. There it is. If you like what you see here, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. I might do some more color accordion videos. Might incorporate Olo, which is that new teal green color. Ultimately, that last one, dealing with the switches on the bass side, that was almost like trying to not press the switch like I know what to do when I'm playing an accordion. This was more like this. Apparently there's a new concept with children called F around and find out, and we all know what that means, but I don't get into too much detail about that. But that's pretty much the same thing with the accordion that I was doing. Mess around with the bass switches, find out which one you land on. That's the same thing as the spin the wheel and see what you land on. Alright, there we go. And of course the FAFO it's this new concept. It's pretty much I'm applying that same thing to mess around with the accordion and find out what happens when you press a switch. Instead of finding your switch and pressing it, just mess around and see what switch you press. Alright, there we go. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel for more videos. There will be more videos coming soon. Anyways, I think the F might just mean, in my personal opinion, I'm just going to use the F as, I don't know, forte around, because yes, children can get loud, and I'm using musical terms, so forte around and find out. Of course, we all know what the original one means, but in musical terms, I like to keep things kind of family friendly on here. You know, that's how I am with my content. I don't do all that other stuff that people do, because this is Cyan music. We make everything. Well, I make everything as friendly as possible, just like when you play an accordion, you want to make it sound just as nice. All right, there we go. Sorry for that little rant at the end, but well, necessarily wasn't a rant, it was just a comparison, but there we go. But if you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel for more videos. There will be more song covers coming out, and I actually do plan on using the accordion for another song cover. It will be featuring the accordion mostly, but I plan on featuring, it might not be the keyboard, the cross, I should say, because I'm actually planning on at some point taking it. There's a place here where I live in California, it's near LA. They actually repair keyboards, so I'm going to go ahead and take it to them, get it cleaned up, get it working again, because I actually thoroughly enjoy this keyboard. The Korg cross and the roll and go keys, because I want to fix my Korg cross. That way I can get back to practicing my classical piano again, and all my piano exercises, and all that stuff. Alright, there we go. If you like what you see here, please subscribe to the channel for more video content. There will be more coming later. And for this, now my window is a bit open. I just have the blinds in a way to where they'll get some light, but I'll aim it up at the lamp, and we will do, there's magenta. Oh wait, that's color change. Why do I have it changing colors? Oh wait, I didn't even change the color yet. There we go, there's magenta. And now, if we're looking at it, I'm gonna hit this one of these cyan buttons, and we should get cyan, the magenta perception of cyan, and therefore we should see Olo. Alright, there we go. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel for more video content. I do plan on posting more video. We'll go and switch us back to blue. Regular blue. Alright, there we go. So, again, I am going to be taking my Korg Cross, the 88 key digital piano, somewhere to get it looked at, checked out, and get everything kind of cleaned up on there, because I don't think I'm gonna attempt to try and do all the cleaning on my own, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it to someone who can actually service this and get it cleaned up. And thankfully they're not as expensive as just replacing a keyboard. I can just get this repaired for like almost 130, but I'll get that done hopefully here pretty soon. That way I can get back to practicing all my piano exercises and actually post some more video content with this keyboard again, with a new fresh look, because it'll hopefully have been cleaned. And yes, when it is done with the repairs at some point, we will be presenting the new improved Korg Cross 88 key digital piano. Even though this keyboard is actually 10 years old due to its release. Sorry about that. Yeah, but due to it being 10 years old, as by its release date, it was released in 2014. Actually, it's 11 years old. It's still new to me because I actually got this keyboard back in 2019. And it actually looks like a previous keyboard that I've owned. It was an 88 key digital piano. It was the Casio Privia PX160 that I actually reviewed on this channel almost 10 years ago, actually. But anyways, there we go. But once the repairs are done on this keyboard, I will be taking this pretty soon to get those repairs done. I just got to figure out what day I want to do that and make sure I have the funds for it. But once the repairs are done, we will be presenting the repaired Korg Cross digital piano, like a Scottish Burns supper, complete with the Scottish small pipes and all that stuff. And we'll be doing more fun with the keyboards and having fun with two keyboards again. So if it does get taken to the repair shop, most of the keyboard content that I make with all the piano stuff will actually have to be done with the Roland Go keys. Mind you, that will be another benefits of two keyboards coming out. I might actually put another one out. Why it is important to have a secondary keyboard when your other keyboard malfunctions or is needing work done to it. That is actually one keyboard video I might actually put out. Well, there we go. That is my video. I know we segued from the accordion to keyboard stuff, but there we go. Forte around and find out what will happen to this keyboard. Alright, there we go. Thanks for watching, and there will be more coming soon.